Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina from Lifting Pins and Needles. Thank you for joining me. I'm very excited about what I'm going to show you today, and it's been quite a challenge, but I'm super happy that I've taken this challenge upon myself. So as you might know, with my friends Vivian from Stitches and Seams, Elizabeth from Elizabeth Made This, and Natita from Natural Dane, we decided to sew things for our guys. So sons, husbands, you know, you name it. So I've made my husband very simple things in the past. Last year I cloned one of his ready to wear that he ripped. I ripped that pattern up and I got a pattern for a pair of shorts, and he wears that a lot. So that gave me a lot of confidence to try and tackle a pair of jeans this time. When I was planning this, I didn't really have a pattern, and I was even willing to go to the lengths of cloning his Levi's jeans, because he only wears that brand. He's got a certain number he wears, and he's been using that for years, and he likes the fit, you know. But then in early October, Thread Theory Designs launched 2 jean patterns on the same day. So I started looking at the pattern, reading everything about it. After launching the pattern, like a day or two later, they had a blog post with a lot of details. So I'll put a line drawing here of those jeans. One of them is called Quadra, and it's more lower waist, slimmer leg, similar to Levi's 502. And then the full 4 jeans are higher waist with more space around the thigh and the leg, more similar to Levi's 501. So just knowing that the designers took into account the fit similar to the Levi's jeans was reassuring for me to go and try this, because I felt that like they were going to fit and look good, you know. So I decided to go with the Quadra Jeans. It's more the style my husband likes, and I purchased that pattern. Now this pattern comes in 2 separate drafts within the file that you get in a PDF, is the version I bought. So there is one draft for the waist of 26 to 38, and a separate draft for the waists of 40 to 50. So the size ranges are quite broad. And I printed out the 26 to 38 inch waist pattern. I will put a picture here of the size chart, and he falls into a straight size 34, which corresponds to what he buys in Levi's. That is his size. It's very easy for him to just go find the number, the model, the waist. He tries it on, takes it home. So it was really cool to find that the size chart for these jeans sort of matched exactly that. So I went ahead and made a size 34 and started from there. The pattern calls for denim or non-stretch fabric, medium to heavy weight, and you can even make it out of a fabric, a stretch woven that has no more than 2% of elastane. The denim that I chose is a medium weight, medium weight, 9.5 ounce, with a tiny bit of stretch. I would say not more than 10%. So I wasn't expecting any fitting issues because the stretch wasn't great. And for making the test muslin, I worked with just a woven thicker fabric. One thing I'm going to say about making a toile for trousers for a man, it's not that straightforward. So I did make the test pair with the waistband and the belt loops, because as you know, the men's anatomy is very different. They tend to be wider on the top and then go narrowing down, and then there's a huge chunk of their body that actually is like straight up and down sort of thing. So that's why it's imperative that they hold their pants up with a belt, you know. And just the anatomic place of their waist is not so straightforward like we are. We usually do have a defined smaller area, depends on where. But at least for my husband, there was a huge chunk of his torso that I measured, and it was like the same. And so basically his waist is where he wants it to be, where he likes to feel the waistband and where he makes the belt tighter. And I made him try on the muslin with the belt where he would actually wear it. So that is super important if you're going to make and tried to make something for a man, you got to go all the way and make the waistband. I made these wonky belt loops, but they did the job and kept the belt up, you know. Now about the waist issue that I'm saying, on the pattern instructions there was a diagram showing you the areas to measure, and you can see a line across that shows the waist at the navel, the belly button, but it actually says there that is not the waist. The waistband of the jean hits significantly lower, and there is a line there. So that is the line that you need to determine, and that I decided to determine by making the muslin or the toile. That undefined line below the navel that men decide where they want their waist to be. Yeah, that aspect is actually discussed within the pattern instructions, so I thought that was very helpful. It made me think about that and make the muslin with the waistband. Otherwise, I would have just been lazy and made it without it, and then I would have had more issues down the track. After making that, I noted I needed to do some adjustments on the back of the pattern piece. Now I'm going to send you to my Instagram. I'm going to insert a picture here of what you see when you look at my Instagram. Just under my little photo, profile photo and bio, there are some highlights, and there's a little circle there that says Quadra Jeans. When I was working on these live, I filmed a lot, so you can go and watch that in like a minute. You will see everything I did to these pants. All the jeans were sewn with a 5/8 of a seam allowance. They do recommend a flat felled finish on some of the seams, but it's not mandatory, you know. And on the website, they have a super detailed sew along, like detail after detail after detail to tackle this project. I didn't go by the sew along, you know, I like to do things my own way, but if you do need a lot of help and you've never made a pair of jeans, it's all there. Like, there's no way you can't make them because everything is so detailed. I will link to that sew along in the description box as well from Thread Theory Designs. Super helpful, you know, as indie pattern companies, they want their clients to have success, so they provided that. It was super good. Although I didn't need to use that, you know, but it is there if you need it, so that's really good. So I'm going to show you now just a wee bit of some of the process I made, and you can see some of the details inside, and that's coming now. This is the front piece, that is the back, and on top here I have all the rest of the little pieces, and this is the pocket facing, the one that goes on the hip to match that little curve over there. The back pockets, the coin pockets, just one. The fly extension, I don't know why it says to cut two, I just cut one. Waistband, I've got the 2 layers there, the little belt loops. Now I cut off a little bit more because it's enough for 5 belt loops. I want to do 6. This is the zipper shield. The back yoke that goes on top of there. Got a bunch of bits and bobs that I've prepared prior to starting the sewing of the jeans itself. So I have the 2 pockets right there. I've already attached on the denim piece that goes on there, and for that side I've already attached the little coin pocket. It's super cute. I didn't do that on my jeans or Martin's jeans. These are the 2 pieces for the fly front. This is the fly extension and the fly shield. I've got them ready. It's been interfaced there, and I used bias binding from that same fabric. My 2 back pockets have been top stitched there, and on the top there, that's all done. Now I just have to attach that to the back pattern pieces. Now for him, I will actually do the double row of top stitching and reinforce everything, because dudes actually do put things in their pockets, so they do need to be pretty firm. I've got all the little belt loops already done, ready to go, and my waistband is there, has been attached on the center back, and it's also been interfaced. So now that I've got all this done and out of the way, I can start constructing. My first step, as always, is to do the fly front zipper. So I will forget all this and just take this and my 2 front pieces and get to work on that first. I've finished the back part of the pants. All the top stitching was a bit time consuming, the top stitching for everywhere is actually wider on that double row. So that's like 1/8 of an inch, and that is actually 3/8 of an inch. When I make my pants, I make this a little bit narrower, and I had started making the pants like that, and I thought, no, it looks too feminine. I went to check his ready-to-wear jeans and noted that the top stitching was a bit wider, so I unpicked a little bit and then, yeah, did everything the same. The other difference when top stitching these pockets is that here on the double row, you've got 1/4 of an inch sort of distance between them. And then that widens to 3/8 and then to 5/8. So you can see it's like slanted. And I had to do some bar tacking there. Now I forgot to do a top row of top stitching there. I totally forgot, but it's too late now. They'll just have to live like that. Here's the completed front. I have already sewn that, top stitched it. The fly front zipper is completely finished. The pockets, a little coin pocket. I did a basting stitch there to hold all that together, same as all that on the top. It also serves as like a stay stitch around there so the waist doesn't stretch out. Yeah, so I'm gonna put this inside out so you can see. Now I've got the front's all done as well. I've just placed it on top there. You can see my pockets. I have used bias binding to finish the bottoms there neatly. I've used the same bias binding there for the fly extension. All that has been finished. And so all I need to do now is unite these two, sew the inseams, overlock them, top stitch them, and then do the side seams. Do one last try on before doing the waistband. There might be like some last minute waist adjustments to do, but it should be fine because the test pair that I made fit him well. So basically once I get to this stage where I have completed the back and the front separately, it's like I'm almost done, but not really. But all the fiddly bits are done. Now it's just basically straight seams and the waistband. So here they are. I'm super happy with them, super proud. They fit really well. You can see this denim, I'm gonna show you. It has minimal stretch, very, very minimal. And when I was doing the final try on before attaching the waistband, he noted he had a bit of excess just around the hip area here. So I did take that in a little bit more. That hadn't happened with the woven muslin that I made. But that tiny amount of stretch did affect the fit a little bit on this, but not majorly, not the depth issues and like the lengths of crotch and all that sort of stuff. It was more a circumference thing around just the hip area. But yeah, making them was super fun. Look at those coin pockets. The rivets, I was able to get rivets in there because Myra from Myra Lorraine, she sent some to me from the States. I got a little packet of Happy Mail with the little hand tools. So I was hammering away one morning. So I told you that this denim wasn't that heavy. It was 9.5 ounce. And I think these rivets were made for a thicker denim because I had some, when I did the test, you know, I put some rivets before on scraps. I found I had a little bit of space in between the little metal thingy and this part. So what I did, I had an extra belt loop hanging around. I cut it into a little piece and I put that little piece of belt loop in between there to make this area more reinforced. So that made the rivet sit nice and snug now. So that's what I did in all the areas where I put the rivets. So make it work, make it work. So yeah, all the details were super fun to make. I was super scared of reinforcing these belt loops, but my older Janome that I use for top stitching, it's a Janome 1009, I believe. It is so good. It'll go through all the layers, no problem. I couldn't have done that with my old little Toyota I used to have. There was no way. So that's the other pocket. You saw the details of how I top stitched the back pockets there. Super fun to do. Now I did not do the flat felt seams. I do not want to do that to myself at this stage. So they look like they are, but on the inside, they are just normal serged up, double row top stitching, you know. I sourced jean buttons locally. I had asked prior to maybe a month or two ago if they had any. They said they didn't. When I went a couple weeks ago, they said they did. So I nabbed about 10 just to be safe. If I might need some in the future, they might not have them again, you know? So I'm gonna turn them around. You saw that detail there. Now these details with this fabric and the binding, those are details for my viewing pleasure really, because does he really care? No. So I had fun with that, even if he doesn't appreciate these things like that, you know. If there was a white piece of cotton, he'd be fine with it, you know. But they were for my fun. You know, I took great care to have the waistbands really nice and neat, you know. So I really enjoyed making this. It was a great project to tackle, even though I had to like do two test versions before to make sure the fit was right. I know now that I can do this again like this, like easy, you know. I'm not scared of this process anymore. He liked them, and I think this weight of denim is really appropriate for this weather. It's not heavy, it's not thick, it's not that hot as other denims would be. Maybe you'd need that for a colder climate, you know. So yeah, I'm super happy. I recommend the pattern. There's lots of support there to get a successful product. And I am now going to show you some photos of my headless decapitated hubby, because that's all I can achieve really. I had to use coercion methods to try to get him to take photos, and he doesn't want his face there, so I had to like crop him out. But anyway, he's doing some action shots of movement and things, so just to show you that they are really flexible and that he can move, and that's really important for him as well. That's all. Thank you for watching. I hope you try and take a challenge like this. It's so satisfying when you've achieved it, and when you see a loved one wearing something you make. It's really cool. It's another level of satisfaction for me. So I'm very happy. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and hit the bell so you don't miss when I upload. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.